More of your calls are coming up, and I start hyperventilating. I start getting upset because I take what's happening in this country very, very seriously. They have passed the House the hate crimes bill. We have a story titled "Thought Crimes Bill Threatens Talk Radio." It has a subsection in S909 that says if you hurt anyone's feelings, you'll be federally arrested. They need not even file a complaint. The feds will come out, no habeas corpus, and say you hurt someone's feelings. The Cyberbullying Act has the exact same language. In fact, here's ABC News. Anti-cyberbullying legislation threat to free speech. This is not just us here that are saying this. So we're going to talk about that with Kurt Nimmo in a moment because he's a writer for Infowars.com. He's the head editor at Infowars.com. He's formerly written for big newspapers and TV stations, but he works on the team. And I wanted him to go over that because he's been all over it. This is all really happening. The cap and trade socialists take over every facet of your life. That's really happening. The blanket total amnesty to legalize all the illegals, 20+ million, including felons. That's happening. Same stuff Bush tried. Obama says he can do it. He's got the whole House and Senate. He's got a supermajority. 60 filibuster proof in the Senate with Franken getting in there. Al Franken. The open borders, the socialist health care, government health care, the gun control, the cap and trade, giving the Federal Reserve unlimited power over all finance, all business, from a taco or hot dog stand to a football stadium. Everything. That's in that bill. It's all passing, all racing, all happening. This is it. They're making their move. Offshore banks are seizing the entire economy. We're going from free market to crony capitalism. Robber barons, robber class. Now, if you're a new listener to this show, because I know we've gotten like 5 new affiliates the last 2 weeks alone. We're on XM now. On the weekend, they re-air the Friday show on Saturday evening there. We're very thankful to all that. The point is, this show's got a lot of new listeners, over 80 affiliates now. The issue is, for new listeners, in China, in Russia, in Nazi Germany, in Venezuela, in Mexico, everywhere else is a tyranny. Liberty is incredibly rare. You never have troops on the streets. You never have people being arrested without warrants in a free society. You never have a big federal government in a free society. That's what the 4th of July is about. We're gonna get into that next hour, the history of it. It is not about just having a Chinese flag, an American flag made in China by slaves. By the way, they make the kids half the day in China in government school that you have to go to by law. They go work at a fireworks factory or a water hose factory or a factory making lawn equipment or a factory making furniture. That's what Mrs. Obama is going around doing, showing the kids working 2-3 hours a day at school, planting gardens in service. Compulsory service bills are racing through for not just people 18 and older, everybody. And you've got to plant and grow the crops and give it to the government. That's the Soviet Union would make you on top of your government job, come out 5, 10, 15 hours a week and fix your sewage leak, dig ditches, break rocks. Folks, this is called slavery. And the big banks, as Carol Quigley at Georgetown wrote, Bill Clinton's mentors, they run communism and socialism and fascism. They want vertical integration, consolidation. It's really happening. And it's all documented at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Now, with all of that happening, and this forced dependency and the free market being bankrupted by design to drive us into submission, with all of this happening right now, and the fake neocon talk show host not talking about it, or acting like it's just liberals doing it, when both parties are run by the same people. With all of this going on, remember Arcadia, the Daily Times Herald reported, and it made national news because we got on it and covered it? Remember that? Remember what happened? We had the colonel on the air. They announced in the news, we're going to go door to door and ask citizens to let us search their gun closets and to look at their guns. And then I had the Houston Chronicle, where the feds knock on your door. The local police do it all over the country, from Chicago to Phoenix to Dallas. You could just say knock and talk. It's called Knock and Talk. It's a federal program federalizing your local police. They're already federalized. They come and knock, knock. Can we look at your guns? In Boston and D.C., they say, we're just here to see if your kids have illegal guns. Mind if we come in? If you say no, they go ahead and force their way in. End of America, getting everybody used to gun confiscation. They have the gun buybacks for the $100 discount card if you turn your gun in. all the images on the news of guns being turned in. They have bills to allow the Attorney General to ban all guns he wishes, any guns, all guns if he'd like. Now, you see, the new greenhouse gas tax, the new carbon tax just says these 30-plus government agencies can do whatever they want and regulate any carbon they want. See, it's now imperial power. Oh, the Attorney General can ban any guns he wants. That bill's introduced. Oh, if you're on a no-fly list, no judge, no jury, you're not arrested, no fly, no buy is the name of the law, racing through the House. It says then we just magically put millions of Americans on a list where you can't own guns, and then they come and arrest you and SWAT team you and say, well, you didn't know you were on the list, but we see you as dangerous. We're going to go ahead and take your guns. That's Kafkaesque. That's right out of the Soviet Union or East Germany. It's happening. No judge, no jury. You're not told why you're being arrested. You're not allowed to get off the list. You're not told why you're on the list. This is 1984 on steroids. The feds with their new Clean Water Restoration Act. Any above or below ground water, any pools, any rainwater, 100% federalization of all land in the U.S., racing through the Senate, already left committee, probably going to pass. Just nightmares untold. Animal ID, premises ID, already passed, already being enforced, shutting down farms and ranches, bureaucrats harassing, hellish control. Northcom, we told you this years ago, went to urban warfare drills when Clinton was in office. Then Bush, Army, Navy, Marines, training with foreign troops. And now in this national level exercise 09, FEMA's own website, I covered it yesterday. In fact, people won't believe me. Print me National Level Exercise 09 from FEMA, where it says all the foreign troops. I want that on screen. I want PrisonPlanet.tv viewers and the radio listeners out there listening to go Google the exact. This is the government's own site, foreign troops training to take us on. But back in 99, I'd go to an urban warfare drill. If you're tuning in thinking I'm weird because I'm excited about this, you're only supposed to get excited about NASCAR or football and yell and scream. I'm excited about 1776 and our precious republic that's been paid for with so much blood. We're going to document that next hour with a historian. I have a family here. My family's been here on the Mayflower. My family were signers of the Mayflower Compact, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, 2 of my ancestors, direct ancestors. I bleed red, white, and blue. Yeah, print that for me. There it is on screen. National level exercise. And right there it says foreign troops. Right there. 3rd paragraph. Ladies and gentlemen. And it says to suppress U.S. terrorists. I remember reading the Toronto Star and the Mexico City newspapers 7, 8 years ago where it would say, oh, we've signed a deal to use Mexican and Canadian troops inside the U.S., but it would never be in the U.S. So I'd go to these drills even before that, and I'd witness foreign troops with a role player screaming, I'm an American. And they'd say, where'd you get the gun? I'm from San Francisco. What militia are you with? I have videotaped, it's in my film Police State 2000, troops training to take your guns. Period. Now, here we are 10, 11 years later, and it's time you stop living in denial. Now, it was in the Daily Times-Herald, Butch Heeman, and it was in a bunch of other articles where they said they were going to go door to door doing gun confiscations, telling people, please let us in and look at your guns. Okay, there's the article. Now, here is the News Tribune out of Missouri, Camp Crowder, Missouri. And it says, guard units trained for militia attacks. Now, put up on screen the New York Times. And you can go through the photos. Look at these. These are kids. And it says in this New York Times article, you scroll through right there where it says 1 through 14. It says right here in the article that they are training to take on disgruntled vets. And in the article, it describes them killing veterans. Then the DHS report we broke says veterans are the #1 threat and Homeland Security set up for you. Last year, DHS, Homeland Security, Army Times says we're going to use regular Army against the American people. Then they have acclamation. They start putting local military liaison officers in every major department. Just Google the name of your town or your city and local military liaison officers in your intelligence unit spying on the citizens. You can't make this up. It's Red Dawn in slow motion. There are the kids practicing killing veterans on your screen. You cannot make this up. And then here it is. The long hours, the blistering heat, and, of course, consistently having to come up with new ways of harassing the Missouri National Guard training in the area. Such was the case for several members of the headquarters detachment of the 229th Multifunctional Medical Battalion. And it goes on to say they practiced taking on militias who were trying to kill the troops. Let's bring up Kurt Nimmo, who's writing a big article on this, writer for Infowars.com. Kurt, I mean, this is really happening. And then they go, oh, all over the country. In fact, pull this up for people on screen.